Welcome back to the Find Your Fuse podcast. We are so excited. We are joined by the incredible Sana Akhand. We are so excited for this conversation because she is a conscious matchmaker, which you might not know what that is, but you're gonna in just a minute, and it's fascinating. She is the founder of Union and the host of the Thriving in Love podcast, and we are diving into all things relationship, love, and life in this episode.
You've probably seen her on New York Times, Good Morning America, Tamron Hall, and Business Insider. But oh my gosh, I can't wait for this chat because we go beyond the headlines and we get really deep on life, love, the pursuit of happiness. And that may or may not come from living outside of your partner. So let's get into it.
Welcome to Find Your Fuse, the podcast and community for women who know they're meant for more.
We're your hosts, Brooke and Kelly, two founders, two entrepreneurs, and two best friends who are figuring it out just like you. Because if you have found that success is anything but a straight line, then you're in the right place.
Join us each week as we go through all things business and all things real life.
We're going to bring you along for the highs, the lows, and everything in between.
Grab your drink, get comfy, and get ready for a chat with your new best friends.
Let's like this shit.
Hi, and welcome back to the Find Your Fuse podcast. We are here today with an amazing, amazing guest, and we cannot wait to jump in. It is Sana Akhand. She is a conscious matchmaker. She has been featured in amazing things like GMA and the New York Times, and we just cannot wait to pick her brain and talk about lovey-dovey things.
The person you marry in this life is so important. It influences so much in your life, and I think this is just going to be a really fun conversation to have and kind of spread more light on that. So, Sana, welcome to the Find Your Fuse podcast and our community.
Oh my gosh, it is an honor to be here. So excited to be in your presence and your energy and dive in.
Yes. For anyone who doesn't know, can you just explain who you are, what you do in your words, and just give us a little sneak peek into your story and how you got into conscious matchmaking?
It's a journey, so I hope you guys are ready to strap in because it's a
I
juicy
have
one.
snacks. I'm going to have a drink. Let's go.
Let's go. So I started my professional career as a wedding planner in my early 20s. And then I did that for like 5 years. And I realized that so many people put so much emphasis on this one day, but not like the actual relationship. And I actually had a couple couples that got divorced within a year after the wedding. So I knew for me, like going into my marriage, so I met my husband at 24, got married at 25, and I knew that I didn't want to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on a wedding. I wanted to put that money towards our life and our marriage. So we actually just kind of took our favorite human beings to Mexico and had a very small 30-person ceremony and dinner in at the Hard Rock in Cancun. So it was like an epic
I love
party.
it. I love
I'm
every second of
obsessed.
that.
And I realized that since day one, we've been challenging the norms when it comes to traditional relationships. But what happened was that when we got married, we were living in New York City and I felt like I couldn't run my business that was keeping me occupied every single weekend at weddings while he's commuting to Connecticut from New York every day. So he was busy during the week. We had no time together. It was like two ships passing in the night sky. And our first year of marriage was so incredibly hard. So I made the really difficult decision to let go of my wedding planning business. Luckily, there was this incredible woman who wanted to buy out my book. And I was like, okay, this is divine timing. This is great. Let's go. Went into corporate America just to get experience in the tech world because I knew that I really wanted to build a business that was going to be bigger than just me running events. So I was like, let me just get as much experience as I can get. So I actually went into an advertising startup and learned a lot about branding and marketing, etc. But I was such an ambitious person because I felt like I was getting a late start. I was 26 going into corporate America in an entry level job as an office manager. And I really, really wanted to prove myself and climb the corporate ladder. So again, what we were talking about off screen, Brooke, was that, you have all this pressure to be this editor in chief or this executive in your 20s. And if you're not there before 30, you've failed. Yeah, you're behind, you're too slow. So I definitely felt that pressure, and I feel like I think I took it on too hard, the whole hustle culture, boss babe era. hit burnout severely in 2018. As soon as I actually I was on a mission to become head of HR at the startup, and I was like, I'm going to get there. I got it. And I think 3 months later, my entire body shut down and was like, no, like, I'm not going to do this anymore. I became a shell of myself. My husband was like, I miss you. Like, you're not yourself. You're not here. Like, where are you? And, I made the tough decision to quit my job in 2018. We booked a one-way ticket to Mexico because that's where we got married, and we were like, "We're gonna just move there and see what happens." So we actually got, like, this cute little beach house in Merida, which is, like, on the Yucatan Peninsula, and we did that for a couple months, and then we moved over to Europe for a couple months, and then Southeast Asia for a couple months. So we were just every 2 weeks, we were kinda like hopping into different cities and exploring, and that time was the most healing thing for my soul of like, wow, I can have an identity outside of how much money I make, what I do for a job, what like word do I provide to the world if I'm not performing for a paycheck. So when I was in Vietnam, I actually felt this really strong intuitive pull to like bring this lesson to New York City. You are more than your career. You have an identity outside of just what you do for work. So I started Friendship Club, which is a community to hang out outside of professional networking. And it was happy hours and game nights and just like a really fun time. And it was right during COVID. So like we started with virtual events and then started doing in person after the vaccines rolled out. Our first event in Washington Square Park had 100 people show up because everybody was just deeply craving connection. And then that business grew so fast that I think my nervous system couldn't keep up with the growth, and all of my wounds of I'm not worthy. Who am I to do this? Like imposter syndrome stuff came to the surface. And I knew that I needed to really deeply heal in order to expand into this next level. So I'm journaling as we do. And I'm like, what do I do? Like, what do I need in order to step into this expansion? And what came through loudly was I want to live alone. And I was like, "Girl, like, you're fucking married. What do you mean? Like, how are you gonna live alone? Calm down." So for months, I'm, ignoring this message.
Like, thank you, but I will not receive this intuition.
Cute, cute,
Bye.
love my husband, interesting.
Okay,
I
I
was
can
like,
imagine
"Nope,
that like
nope."
it's scary. Yeah.
And then I think that's where my, split happened between, me and, my soul's desires, and I started to create a lot of turbulence in my life because I'm not in alignment anymore. So I'm fighting with my husband, I'm fighting with my friends, I'm feeling disheveled, I'm feeling like my whole life is, falling and crashing down, and if anyone's listening and you feel like you have an intuitive nudge that is calling you somewhere and you say no and you're ignoring it, you're going to feel a little fragmented and a little disheveled until you have the courage to say yes and take the leap and lean in and go all in. So I couldn't do it anymore. I told my husband, I love you so much, but I don't know why. This is a desire and a need that is coming through. And I feel like I can't function if I don't explore this. And he, again, what a gem of a guy, was like, you're saying you just want your own apartment? Like, what's the big deal? We live in New York City. Like, it'll be down the street. Like, you could get your place, I'll have my place, and we'll play in the city. And he was also really excited because he never got to live completely alone either. Like, he went from just living with a bunch of roommates in New York to living with me. I went from living with my parents to living with him. So neither of us really had that experience of our own apartment, our own space to discover who we are when we're not trying to accommodate someone else's energy or presence. So it was really transformative for both of us. It was just so cool to see him fully step into who he is without me telling him to pick up his socks and do the laundry and take out the trash, and just I go to his place and it could be a mess, and that's none of my business. I go to my place and live however I want, and it's none of his business. But we get to spend all of our weekends together, and during the week just really pour into our own cups. So then I posted a 7-second video on TikTok saying, hi, I'm 32 and my husband and I live in our own apartments and this is what works for our love story. And it blew up, guys, like a million views in less than a week. And all these articles and media outlets started reaching out, asking if they can share our story and bring us on to live television on Tamron Hall. There was like a whole 10-minute segment, Good Morning America, New York Times. And then again, that like amount of visibility was again shocking to my nervous system because then all of these people came out saying, I'm selfish, I'm a horrible person, I don't deserve love, yada, yada, yada. And I went into my cocoon
Mhm.
and I was like, I'm going to hide. And I didn't do anything for a little while, but just gather people over dinner parties. So when we moved to LA, he got this incredible job offer we couldn't say no to. We moved to LA, we moved back in together. And I just started like I started doing like friendship club, but without like a label and just like hosting events and parties. Eventually, that turned into Growth Club, which was my community out here in LA for conscious leaders to gather and be held and witnessed and over a shared meal. Did that for a year. And then over those gatherings, everybody just kept saying, I know what my purpose is, but I'm struggling in my love, in relationships. I am having a really hard time. I was already doing my podcast called Thriving in Love for a couple of years. So people kept coming to me for relationship advice. So I was like, okay, universe, I hear you loud and clear. I'm going to get in a niche down and I'm just going to go all in. And in a deep meditation, the word conscious matchmaker came into my awareness. I looked it up on Instagram. It was available. And I was like, okay,
Here we go.
I got my assignment. Let's go.
I hear you. I
Right.
hear you. We're going.
And I'm not going to resist it this time.
No, I adore so much of your story. One, I like you probably saw Kelly and I both going like and like smiling for different parts because like one, I'm a huge meditator. So even your moment of like in a deep meditation, I got the name. I have had that experience of like in a meditation, I got a name for like a little thing I did on social. It wasn't anything crazy per se, but like I'm the same. Like when I am in it and I'm in alignment and I am creating time and space for myself, like I get downloads like that in meditation and there's just nothing better.
Ooh, chills.
No, you
Same. I was like, I have goosebumps thinking about it.
yeah, I know you were speaking to Kelly's soul with, like, your place being Mexico in so many moments.
Mm,
It's like I'm divorced and happily divorced, but we also
congrats.
thank you. But
Yeah.
we were like, I don't want a huge wedding. We don't want to spend a whole bunch of money. Let's take 30 of our friends and family down to Mexico and let's get married. That's exactly what we did. And I like literally zero regrets. My next wedding is probably going to be very similar because it fed my soul in such a different way than like, well, what kind of plates do you want? I'm like, I don't care. Have it on the beach. It'll be great.
Yeah.
Just didn't care. You know, I was able to just
Same.
have fun, be in the sun, be near the water. Like I can feel the universe, God, source, whatever. I can feel
Yes.
God when I'm near water. And so I was like,
Same.
that is why
Wait, are you a water sign?
yes, I'm a Scorpio. So I live. Yeah. When's your birthday?
28.
Mine's the 27th.
Y'all are close.
Okay.
Adore this moment.
I didn't already love you enough. Yeah, so like I live in Seattle. I can see the Puget Sound from my apartment. And I need that in my soul. And so I'm from the Midwest. So when I moved here, I was like, I'm doing this for me. And no one else understood. And I went, I don't care. I'm doing it for me. And it literally was the best thing ever. So your story is so dang amazing.
It is.
Like we could stop this podcast right now and have people just inspired by your messy, crazy action and you and your husband doing whatever you needed to like fill your own cups. Like that alone is a huge message that I hope and pray people hear. Because even Brooke, like you've been with your partner forever, you know, but I'm sure it hit you a little bit to be like, oh yeah, I've never lived alone. You know, like that whole thing. Like, what a cool just experience. I think that's incredible. And he also was like, yeah, I want my own apartment. And you're like, awesome.
This is where you
Girls, I was terrified. I was shaking before having that conversation with him, and this guy's just steady. Like he was like, "What's the big deal?" And all my mental chaos got to just ground into this
He's your
peace.
person for sure.
Yeah, truly. Like if there was
Ugh.
any sign needed to be like, oh yeah,
And
this
there
is
was
right
a sign
needed.
needed.
The universe went, she needs a sign. Here it is. Another piece of your story that, and we have some questions that we always like to ask at the beginning of the episodes. We'll get into that in a second. But another piece of the story that really stood out to me is your following of your intuition. I know sometimes you're like, you also, awarely resist it. I think we all do. We all have these moments where we're like, yeah, I know. I feel it in my gut. I should be doing this, but I'm going to ignore that for a second. What does intuition feel like for you? Because I know there's so many people out there who are like, everyone says follow your intuition or follow your gut, but like, how do you know if your intuition is speaking? What would your advice or experience be in that to share with people?
I love that question so much, and then I also really despise it because it's so
Why
unique.
ask me that question? I don't want it.
Love it because a lot of people think that, if it feels like a full body yes, then that's in alignment. Sometimes the intuition comes and it feels like, holy shit, that's scary. Like, that's too much. And I want to invite people into not knowing if it's your intuition or if it's something else yet, but sit in the discomfort of curiosity to go through when you actually write down what does this actually look like in practicality, and if I was to really go there and paint that picture, does it feel like expansion? Like, whoa, that could be really cool. Really, I could learn so much if I took that path. Or does it feel like I'm doing this for the wrong reasons? And you're going to get that clarity when you do your processing. I'm a big processor. Like, I take 3 days to sit with the intuitive hit before taking aligned action. So, yeah,
That's
process.
incredible.
I'm the
Yeah.
same way. I'm a processor in multiple facets as well. Like if I'm getting a download, I'm going to need to talk it out, journal it out, and meditate it out. It's
Exactly.
annoying to have to do it all, but like it's really it all like resonates in different ways in different places. For me, my intuition is quiet. Like and there is different feelings of sometimes I can tell like my intuition has like there's a fear like you said, there's different emotions that can be tied to it, but a lot of times I know it's my intuition if it's not yelling at me, actually. It's like kind of whispering at me, and it's like almost a confident whisper of like, you'll listen to me when you're ready.
Yeah, a confident whisper. I love that you said that because sometimes, like, it does get a little louder, especially if you're not listening to it, especially if you're going a couple months, a couple years, and you're still not listening to it. I think that it gets
More
a little
feisty.
mad. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the same thing with burnout. Like, burnout is like your body's final, like, this is your last straw. I've been telling you this for a while and you've blatantly ignored me. And so
Exactly.
it's kind of like that where it's like, hey, you're working too much. Maybe you should go to bed. And you're like, no, it's fine. Whatever, have it done. Like, no, 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 no. And then all of a sudden you hit it. Like burnout, you don't really hit it, it hits you basically. So I think
Mhm.
that's also something where, like, yeah, where all of a sudden your body, mind, soul are like, we're done. We're done with this
Yeah.
so
It
much.
sounds like maybe because we're Scorpios, Brooke, maybe you, like, just honor your intuition more so it stays a whisper?
The yell, I've had the yell, but for the most part, mine is it's I think my Virgo comes out with it actually. So Earth definitely grounded, but sass for the lack of a better word for me my intuition is like almost sassy. It's a confident whisper, and it's not to say that it gets I've had this like screaming intuition moment for sure, but it's for me it gets sassier. That's the only way I can explain it. It's more of like a you'll eventually listen like and it's almost like I told you so to myself, but like my intuition is doing it. It's kind of all kinds of fucked
So
up, but
good.
I've learned it.
It takes practice. That's another thing too, that if anyone's listening right now, just know that the more you go through the trial and error of, "Ooh, I think this is my intuition, let me try it," and then you get that feedback from the universe and from your external reality, and just, like, know that you're gonna make mistakes and you may think something's your intuition and it's not, and that's part of it. Like, you're not that's what the practice is for, so that you can become the master of your intuition.
Yes.
Seriously. Mic drop.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, without a doubt. And it is hard. Like,
Yeah.
really listening to your intuition and going forward sometimes isn't, like, the right choice in that moment. You might be like, "No, I don't wanna quit my job." That's scary,
Yeah. Or like,
right?
I don't how the heck am I gonna pay my bills if I quit my job? Intuition? Like, shut up.
Get it
Mhm.
together.
Mhm. Yep. But it all comes. Okay, so one of our favorite ways to start our podcast episodes, even though we're like 20 minutes into yapping, so hopefully everyone's enjoying because I am, is we really love to honor the reality of duality. That rhymes. Because there are so many high highs happening at the same time of so many low lows. And I know there are listeners out there who are in the muck of it or some who are celebrating big things. And we just want everyone to feel seen, heard, and valued and know that you're not alone. And social media is a highlight reel and everything is not always honky dory, even when it seems it. And then sometimes you're celebrating, I'm celebrating, and like there's just so much good energy to share. So we have two questions for you. Kel, do you want to hop in with the first?
Yeah. Well, the first question that we have in our duality section is what is a part of love or partnership that you used to think was black and white that now you think is a little bit
My gosh, that is such a good question. Okay. That the guy should pay for everything
Ooh,
used to be like a big one for me. And then I realized actually this year, so guys, 10 years into a marriage, I realized that I was subconsciously punishing my husband for all the things my dad didn't give to me. And I was expecting that to be fulfilled from the way he like just I was like, pay for the bills, pay for this, pay for that, and my money can go towards like our vacations or like whatever I want, right? Like I was so like, and then I'm like, and then again in the meditations book, it was like, girl, you're being a princess, you're not being a queen. A queen pours into her queendom alongside the king, and you guys both amplify and build something beyond what just one person could do on their own. So I was like, ah, crap.
dang it. Yeah.
right. I'll pay for dinner this week.
I just got full body chills
Yeah.
So
twice
did I.
while we're talking.
Literally. Okay, so you said you're not a princess or you're acting like a princess. You need to act like a queen, which I think I stopped listening for a second because I was like, that literally rocked my soul. Especially like, I'm sure you have people coming to you all the time and they're like, well, he's not paying, so he's not the one for me. Something like that.
I do gotta say though, the first couple dates, he better pay. If he's interested, that's a good, beautiful sign and way for him to make sure that you know that he's into you so
Yeah.
that you stay curious to learn more about each other.
Love it. Love it.
And I teach that to my guys. I'm like, okay, this is the rule. If you are interested, you pay. And if not, then you ask to split because that is a clear indicator that you didn't feel a connection without hurting the person's feelings.
Actually, that's really nice. It is an
Yeah.
easy indicator because, like, you
Hmm.
split the check with your friends, right? Like,
Yeah.
really just, okay, we're splitting. No big deal.
Yeah.
Um, okay, I love that. That's beautiful.
I do too.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I also think the princess stage is necessary though for a bit. Like it's okay to be the princess. I think probably until the honeymoon stage is over after like your first 2 years of marriage. Where like you really do. Like I think women deserve to feel totally taken care of by the person that chooses to build life together with. And like that can look in so many different ways than just financial, first of all. Like, I mean, it could be so many, like for me, even something as simple as allowing him to like, he used to want to carry all the groceries. And I was like, no, I can carry the groceries too. And he's like, babe, I got it. Like, it's good. And I used to get so activated and so triggered because I didn't know how to receive. Cause I was like, no, we're equals. Like, I'm a hyper independent woman. Like, I can do what you can do. And he's like, calm down. I
Mhm.
got this.
Okay.
And let yourself
You
live in
and
your
everyone
feminine
else
self.
knows that you're amazing. However, I can carry the groceries. It's really not a
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, it's really not that big of a
Yeah.
deal. And I was like, this is the patriarchy trying to take over.
I didn't think it was that deep. And you're like going through an entire soliloquy in your head of like, this is what this actually means. So let me carry the damn ham. Thank you.
Yep. Yep.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
I go there a little too much and he has to like reel me back in often.
there, honey. Just sit down. It's fine.
That's beautiful though. Like he knows where he can nurture you in those moments. And then I'm sure also where he can be like, you know what? Let Sana stand in her masculine in this. Let her feel empowered. And I love that.
Mm,
And be
yeah.
empowered.
Mm-hmm.
Opposite
Totally.
side of the question. What's one thing that makes you feel deeply connected to others? So positive side. But then in one thing that makes you pull away.
Vulnerability is what makes me feel a deeper connection with people for sure. And I think that anytime someone's vulnerable, I see that as like, wow, you feel really safe with me. Thank you so much for that honor. So I don't take it lightly at all. Like, I think that we all live in a world where we're all surface level and trying to be our best selves to impress each other. So the moment someone lets down that guard, it's like a beautiful invitation into a part of them that not many people get to see. So privilege and honor. Love it. Something that makes me feel like they're pulling away or a disconnection, probably the opposite of that, right? We're like, honestly, like if somebody is only talking about their highlight reel or like really just trying to be seen as the perfect version of themselves, I can kind of intuitively sense that. And I'm just like, okay, great. Like, love that for you. Go off, queen. But I know that getting through that into the real may just take a little longer. I don't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I love
Like, my
that though.
time is really, really sacred and special, so, like, I'm not gonna, like, try to earn your heart. I'm just going to be here, I'm gonna be present, I'm gonna be available, and when you're ready, come share.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I love that, and I love how you even described that experience because I would say I'm the same way. Like, I don't enjoy surface level conversation. Like, it's pretty quick
Meaning.
for me if I'm like, we clicked or we didn't click, and, like, this is with friends, but, like, anyone, like, I don't wanna have the fake, "Oh my god, girl, hi." Like, no, let's talk about real things.
Yeah.
And I feel like everyone
I
has a different, like, meter
do
of
you
bullshit on that.
have you noticed that being different for people that are married and not married?
Ooh, that's a really good question.
'Cause I wonder if like, for me, it's like my, like what I, like, use as a scale of, like, is this person worth my time or not, is, like, is this person worth me getting off the couch with my husband or not?
Yes.
And, like, it takes a lot, like, I want, like, my friendships like, I hold everything on, like, the standard of the way I show up and the way I want to connect and relate. I want that to be, like, an equal energy. If you're not willing to go there, I'm not willing to get off my couch.
That's
I relate
interesting.
to that. I would say yes. When it comes but maybe not marriage. Maybe I am noticing a correlation between those who have at least been in a committed or more like a deeper relationship versus not. Because when I think of the people
Mm.
who I've had just very surface level meetings and conversations with, they are not those who have had maybe that experience in life yet versus like Kelly, for example, one of my best friends in the world, has been married, not married at the moment, but I would still say like can connect and but you have been in like a deep, vulnerable relationship in that way. So I almost wonder if it's like whether it be marriage or not, I feel like yeah.
I love that distinction because I think what you're really saying, and I think what I was trying to say is that it's that no bullshit meter comes on when you have experienced true connection.
Yes.
So
Mhm.
you know what you're missing and what you aren't. But like people who haven't experienced that like depth may still be okay with it or just like not even aware of what could be on the other side.
I think there's something to say too on the level of self-love that you have with yourself
Mm.
or the time piece. Because like, I go to networking events all the time, and I'm randomly talking about, my favorite color all the time with hundreds of people, which is great because I love networking, and that's a big piece of who I am and what I love to do. However, there is that difference of like, "No, I've reached my time limit because I love this is not serving me. I'm gonna move on or I'm gonna go home." Because again, even though I am a single human, I would rather be on the couch with my cats if I'm in a situation that is not serving me, and that's totally great. Like, for
Mhm.
me, that's one of those things where it's like, "Okay, gotta go. Have a good one. Bye," instead of continuing to fill my cup with things that aren't really serving me.
Also, I love cat
Hey,
We're
you
big
have
cat
1
fans
or
here.
2 or 5?
too, and then I have a stray that comes in and out at his leisure.
Okay, I have 2, and I apologize. I kept muting myself earlier because they were having, like, a full-on fit, and I had texted Brooke, and I was like, "I'm sorry, the cats are doing something," and my cats 98% of the time are chill AF. So I was like, "They would
Wow.
choose this
They knew.
1 hour to come say hello to Sana during our podcast recording.
They knew I was a cat person.
Totally.
Whereas I also have 2 cats, so we all have this in common, but mine are I love them so much. They're my kids.
Yeah.
They're chaotic. Like, they are cats that act like dogs. They'll greet you at the front door like a dog does. They like belly scratches, but they also yodel, like, fully yodel, and they'll, like, whenever
Yeah.
they want food, it's like a guttural, like, I can't even explain it, and so anytime Kelly is like, "My cats won't stop making noise," and, like, their little meows are like, "Meow," like, the lightest little meows. I'm like, "Girl." My neighbors think
Got
I'm
one of each. I have one of each.
lovely.
My little girl, and she's like, meow. And my guy's like, rah.
Dreaming.
He's a
Totally
tiger.
love 'em.
That's all. He
Yeah.
thinks he's a rough and tough tiger.
I'm like, what
Oh
is
my
this noise? Like, do you know how to be a cat? Is this your first time being a cat? Because that's what it seems like.
Maybe.
I know. And I
God, I
think they
always
came into this world together. They're a bonded pair, so we couldn't like have them apart. So I think like Lily is here to teach him how to be a cat for sure.
Oh, I love this. We all have
Great.
bonded pairs too.
That's
This
freaky.
I'm here for it. Okay, what colors are your cats? I feel like we have to clarify. I have an orange and a black cat.
Yeah. And
Okay, they're both black and white. What was
Okay.
yours, Kelly?
both black, and then yours are like tuxedo.
Black and white, yeah.
Cute. Very
Cuties.
cute.
Huge cat
Okay,
fan.
for those of you listening at home, we'll put photos somewhere so you can see all the
Yeah. Okay. So matchmaking. We've gotten into a little bit of
Mhm.
your story and in about the moment that you've gotten into matchmaking and whatnot. But why do you feel like this work is your calling? What about matchmaking lights your soul on?
Because we live in a world where people are getting all the wrong advice to change who they are in order to find love or to be more in your feminine and more in your masculine. And it pisses me off so much that I just had to do something about it and really step into the ring and tell people and show them and the embodiment of what love really is, which is full radical self-love and authenticity for who you are and show up as that unapologetically so that your light turns all the way on and then relationships become this beautiful flow of more and more of who you are. It makes me so frustrated also when people think that, oh, if I lower my standards, then he's going to treat me XYZ. And I'm just like, well, is it lowering your standards or is it dropping your ego and opening your heart and realizing that instead of expecting perfection because you are so afraid of your own authentic expression, you're actually being really mean and not accepting somebody for who they are and who they're telling you they are and showing you they are. And you are saying they should be like this and be like that. And I understand that it's fear but on the bottom, on like beneath that fear, it's actually a core wound that just simply needs awareness and love and compassion. So, my matchmaking process, I actually prep you to be ready for conscious love before even matching you with somebody. So, we go through an entire love intensive. So, we are unpacking your love patterns, and you're telling me all about your love story from the way you were raised, the first time you had experience love with your parents all the way to the moment that we're meeting. And I'm going to pick up on all of those patterns that are showing up through the experiences that on the surface may not seem like they're connected. But my gift is to be able to see where all of those connect to a core wound. And then we unpack, unravel, do a lot of somatic work, do a lot of nervous system work to really rewire that so that you can alchemize it into kind of your greatest gift and your greatest superpower and then show up more authentically.
I adore this. You are speaking my love language. We're rewiring the brain and inner child healing and somatic work and nerve system. All of these things are some of my favorite things on the planet. What is your go to for somatic healing when it comes to unpacking past wounds?
Shaking that ass. Shake your
Yes.
ass. Like literally,
dead ass serious. Waiting for you to be like, oh, well, the specific tapping, and you just straight up shaking that ass. That was incredible.
especially for women, because it's so important for all of our like stored trauma is in our womb. So when you're like getting out of like that, we all have that little two to four step dance routine that we do when you're at a club or when you're in the company of other people. But when you're in the comfort of your own home and you're deep in your feelings and your emotions, the full primal expression of letting that out freely without thinking, how does this look? What are people going to think? How am I coming off? You put all of that away because you're no longer in your head. You drop into the body and you shake it out fully. An emotion lasts 90 seconds, guys. Like the stored emotion that is literally creating all these patterns repeating in your external reality over and over and over again for years and years and years. It takes 90 seconds to fully allow that emotion to come to the surface, feel it fully and completely, express it how it wants to be expressed, and let it go. And you're free. You are free of it. And then you show up differently and you experience life differently and you attract different experiences into your life.
So powerful.
When you guide people to do this, do you have them really sit, just like instruct them to really sit in that feeling first and be like, all right, that abandonment wound, that like feeling left behind, feeling not enough, feeling unloved, whatever it may be. Do you have them like sit in it for a minute and then like turn on a power song? Or like what is your recommendations there?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, actually. So we do a lot of talk first where we're doing like, okay, where is this coming from? What is going on? Blah, blah, blah. And then as soon as I sense that like they're getting too emotional to keep going with the story, that is when I'm like, all right, let's drop into the body. We do like deep breaths and then throw on the music and release it and shake it out. And then we come back and like, okay, how are you feeling? Can we continue on? Can we unravel the next layer?
I love
Because at the end of the day, it's all blocks, right? That's like, we are love. You are the embodiment of love here and now as you are, as your authentic self. The only thing getting in the way of you actually expressing that and receiving it are these energetic blocks that have been built up from childhood, but also ancestrally from past lives and your ancestors and this and that. So, like, it's not your fault, but it is your responsibility to move them and get them out of the way so that it's not just so that you can experience a loving relationship, yes, but so much deeper than that. Your aura becomes so much more magnetic. So, you entering a room just raises the frequency and consciousness of the room. So you're actually healing the world.
Yes.
Say it louder for the people in the back. That's beautiful.
So like the
Okay.
PD version of like what I do is like matchmaking. But once you're in my world and my containers, you know that you're actually here for soul revamp.
I think that's incredible. And the fact that it's really like yourself loving and the authentic version of you shaking all the past crap before you're like, well, this is a man that fits
Yeah.
your profile. I That's so beautiful. And I hope anyone that's in the space, similar to myself, does the healing work first. Can I talk about therapy all the time? So it almost is like a really beautiful new kind of version of that, to support yourself first before giving more love to someone else when you have to give it to yourself first. I think
Yeah.
beautiful. Absolutely
And I
beautiful.
think like therapy is great for like the human you, but then you also have a soul that needs, like a soul therapist. Like people call me that all the time and I'm like, yeah, I guess. But like doctors and therapists and clinical psychologists come to me for help on the soul part because it is like we have four quadrants. You've got the mental, the physical, the emotional, and the spiritual. So if you're not pouring into all four of those parts, you're going to be imbalanced and you're not going to be in alignment with your whole true self. So, yeah, just like you go to the gym, you go to therapy and you have deep friendships for your emotional self. This is soul coaching.
What I love about this is it puts so much intention. I feel like people maybe outwardly they come to you because they're like, I want love. I want to find my partner. But it really is this underlying like you help them fall in love with themselves first because inevitably that's what happens in the process of shaking off past wounds and moving through traumas
Exactly.
and whatever it may be. And I will yell that from the rooftops as well. If falling in love with yourself is a necessary first step to most things in life. Like, you will be so much more joyous and fulfilled and happy and glowing if you can nurture that relationship too.
Well, most importantly, I think. And then it literally impacts not just your relationships romantically, your friendships, but also the way you show up at work, the way you show up in your brand and your marketing, and the way you are like just having more confidence to know your yeses and nos. So you're more in alignment with the right brand opportunities and partnerships and collaborations. And you just like have less tolerance for the bullshit that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
So it all comes down to that self-love.
I think that's amazing. You've said it obviously multiple times, and it's part of your bio and it's part of what you do. But can you give us your definition of conscious matchmaking?
Ooh, yes. Okay, so I think a lot of us are on autopilot when we go on dates where we are just seeing things at the surface level of like, oh, this guy did this, ick, move on. But what conscious does is so after the date, we are going to sit and we're going to unpack the date and you're going to tell me all about those moments of ick. And we're going to dive one layer deeper into, okay, why? So as soon as you start asking that question, why is this happening? Or why am I feeling this way? Or why am I so triggered by this? That's what makes it conscious. Instead of like, nope, this isn't what I want. I'm moving on. Well, it's like, okay, well, I believe, so I have this ethos that every single human being that comes into your life, whether it's on a date, whether it's a networking event, wherever you go, is a mirror. So it's information for you to learn more about yourself. So if you have a positive or negative emotion towards that person, just being curious about why that charge is there is going to tell you so much more about yourself. So every single date you go on is going to tell you more and more about you. And that's what makes it conscious.
I love that, and I believe that really fiercely because I it also then gives you the opportunity as you're asking why to realize where you need to work on yourself more. Maybe it'll open up a new wound you didn't know was there so that you can confront it. Why is truly one of my favorite questions. Kelly and I even talk about it a lot with business and your why. Like, a lot of people come to us for marketing or branding and be like, I want to start this business or I want to launch this service or yada yada. And we're like, okay, why? And they're like, well, I want to make all of this money. And I'm like, okay, why? It's never about the money. Not when you really, really dig. It's never about the money. It's what that money represents to them. And typically
Mhm.
it's freedom. But why really is
Exactly.
one of the best questions out
And
there.
same with like like what you said earlier, Brooke, I loved where it was like, you can't really come into a dynamic of like really wanting love. Like, I really want to be married. As soon as somebody says that, I'm like, ooh, there's a lot of work here first. Because the difference between I really want a partner and going from that to, okay, where in my life do I feel abandoned and where do I feel like I'm not complete yet? Filling that up with your own self love, that energy shifts from desperation and eagerness to, I'm ready. I'm so fulfilled in my life. I just like want to share this joy and expression with someone else. I can't wait to enjoy my life even more in the container of a relationship. Then you are so full and whole and magnetic when you do go on dates.
It's the shift from desire to need, or from need to desire. It's like need
Yeah.
to me feels so heavy and it's like I need to do this and I need to do that. And it does not,
Mhm.
it never feels good. Whereas desire, it almost feels kind of sexy. It's like, oh, I desire that. Like, there's just a much higher frequency attached to it. And it
Yeah.
changes the whole dynamic.
You also settle for breadcrumbs when you're in the energy of need, where you're like, "Ooh, like I want this so badly. I'm just going to look over all of these red flags
Uh-huh.
because I'm like too focused on this one goal." And we're so powerful as women that you will get what you want and you will get that wedding and you will get that marriage. But then all of those red flags that you ignored are going to come up like a roaring fire later on, and you're gonna be like, "Damn, I rushed into this," or "I ignored it. I knew it. I shouldn't have done this." Like, it always happens.
Always. You
It's one of
even
my oh my
Kelly
god.
knows.
I know this so deeply. It's like you're literally just talking to me. But there are many times when, I was going through my divorce and friends and family are like, "Oh, we told you he wasn't good for you," or like, whatever. And I'm like, "I hear you." But, in that moment, you're like, "No, but this is it." Like, of course he loves me. Of course I'm going to get married. We're on this path. This is the path.
Mhm.
And the amount of
Yeah.
I was my own red flag during this time. And I think, I finally got to a point of I'm married, but this isn't the marriage that I wanted, and I think that's like that
Wow.
discernment piece. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I mean, Brooke knew me back then, obviously knows me now. I was very different. I didn't love Kelly at all. And there was one moment that I was like, okay, Kel, we're here. You're the only person. Your cats sleep with you every night, but, like, really you sleep with you every day. You go to shower with you every day. You're in it all the time with you every day. And if I didn't start repairing that relationship with me, I would still be so stuck in bad patterns and in a relationship, even my own relationship with me that wasn't good at that time. So I just love the work that you do in general because it is so dang important for people to love themselves and really be in that time period, and unfortunately, there are a lot of people out there, myself included, that it takes going through a lot of shit to finally be like, "No, this is not right. Like, you deserve better than this." So anyway, I just love this and I value you and I'm
No, oh my god, Kelly, thank you for creating the space to fall so deeply in love with yourself.
yeah, that's
That
it. And
is
it's hard. Like every day, Brooke and I have this conversation every day where one of our things we as business partners every single day we send each other an end of day. And part of that is how'd you love on yourself today? Has nothing to do with business, but, like,
Can
what
you
do you
guys create a Bible for, like, how to be co-founders together? Because this is epic. It is epic.
Thank
Well, yeah,
you.
honestly, I mean, Brooke and I will say this till, we're blue in the face, but we are very, very serious about we were friends first, business partners second, and it's always that. So, we can be on a call, and it's really a hard call where we're like, "I can't believe you just spent 20 grand on that yacht, Brooke. I told you not to." God, I wish, by the way.
I know. I was like, wait, what?
These are going to be the conversation soon, so keep
What is
saying
all
it.
that
Keep
is?
putting it
You know
out
what,
into the
Kelly?
universe.
I'm calling in. You're
Champagne
yelling at
first,
me for
yacht
that.
second. But I digress. We'll have these conversations that are just hard conversations together, and literally within 5 minutes, one of us will text the other one and be like, "So what are you cooking for dinner?" Because we have to, like, take the business hat off and still be friends,
I
and the
can't even
day
be
that we
I
can't do that, we won't be in business together anymore. That's basically it.
It's so important, guys. Like, I hope you understand what you're doing is massively important because I actually am coming out of a co-founder dynamic through the company Growth Club. And I think that was the missing point piece that we were such good friends and then we became co-founders and then we forgot that we're still friends and we didn't do that. Like we just made it business, business, business. And like we would say like, "Oh, I miss you as a friend. Let's go on a friend date." And then we would go, and then all we would do is talk about business. We even did like a psychedelic journey together because I was like, "Okay, we need to like get
Get
out of
out of
our
our
heads
ways.
and like yeah, yeah, and like tap into the creative space and just like be in each other's energy again." All we did is talk about the work. So,
And it's so easy
it's
to, and
hard.
Kelly and I have caught ourselves in that. So, like,
Yeah.
you're not like, we've caught ourselves in
Yeah.
that, but it's always followed up with we need to set aside some time to be friends. We need to, and for us, we've even like delineated where we message. Like, if you need to talk to me about business, you can Slack me. Please don't email me. You can Slack me. But like, we have our places and our spaces and text, like,
So
unless
smart.
something is on fire that you're like, holy shit, I know you're off today and I know you're not in Slack, so I have to text you. Like, text is for friendship only. Like, I want to know what you're reading right now, what you're cooking for dinner, what are you wearing to that date? Like, no business. And it
I love
helps.
that so much. Talk about like boundaries like that. And that's exactly what I help people do in the relationships. Like once you have the match, once you're ready for the relationship, okay, now how are you having the parts of you that need to be filled? Because that's very natural and organic too. You can do the self love all you want, but there are parts of the human experience that don't get fully integrated. You may have all the awareness when you're alone, but it doesn't get fully integrated into like how to we can love ourselves, but then when you get witnessed in your mess and your ick and like all your chaos and like all the bad parts, and somebody just like holds that space for you, one, it's not natural for that person to not jump into fixer mode, right? I think we do that with our friendships as well. But that presence is like really what I teach in my couples work. And how can we listen to listen and not to respond? And it sounds like you guys have really learned, like, okay, when are we in the fixer mode business? Like, have the outlets and the containers for that. And then when are we friends where we're just with each other and being present? It's
Thank you.
powerful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
it's
Honestly, that's such a huge
yeah,
com thank you.
because we're
I'm
new to
so
this.
impressed. I'm
Thank
so
you.
impressed. Yeah.
Thank you. We're new to this. We're a year and change, and I mean, a year and a half and change, honestly, into co-founding together. And we've learned a lot. There's been a lot we didn't expect. There's been a lot we did expect. And there's more and more that we're really manifesting doing like a yearly trip together that's purely vacation and not business. Haven't gotten to that yet, but like it
Where
is
would you go?
somewhere
More
tropical,
tropical, hands down.
somewhere with a beach and a margarita. And really, you can plop me on any beach with any margarita and I'll be happy.
Literally, doesn't yeah.
You guys, I just got back from Phuket in Thailand, and you have to go if you haven't
Oh,
been yet.
it's very
No,
high on my
it's high on my list.
That water is so warm. The sand is powdery. It's like literally heaven on earth. It's
Alright, Brooke,
amazing.
that's it. Phuket.
You don't have to ask me twice, Kelly. Let's go.
And the coconut waters are $1. You could just drink those
Yes.
all day long.
And the food. I've
Oh,
heard the food is incredible. And I'm a foodie. Like, if there's good
Incredible.
food, I'm there.
So that's what I really love about Mexico, and that's what I really love about Thailand. Like you are gonna have guaranteed good food. So good. Yep.
that's that. For me, I'm like, I just need a constant margarita in the sunshine. Bring me some guacamole eventually, I'm fine.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, I love that. So, I guess when it comes to partnerships, right? Like we're in a partnership and there are things where we've had the conversation similar to many couples in therapy of like, how do you talk to each other? How do you take feedback? How can I love on you today? Those types of things. How do you build with your clients like the authentic partnership versus like performative one?
Yeah. I mean, it's important to pause before you react, right? So that you can understand, am I wearing a mask and protecting myself? Or am like that pause gets you out of that ego protection. 3 breaths in, and you're going to tap into the vulnerability part. And you're going to be more honest, and you're going to be unafraid of saying the hard thing because you hopefully have learned in my practice that if you show up with that mask, you can go ahead and build a relationship with that person, but it's not going to be real. And then it's going to be built up with resentment and bitterness. So even in that moment, like choose the harder thing. It's easier to be in that protective mask. But when you drop in to the body and know that, well, if I choose that, then I'm going to have to redo that later. So save yourself the time and energy and do the harder thing in that moment. And it's always less scary than we think. Always. Like it's always actually, especially because hopefully you're in a relationship with somebody who's not a narcissist and a horrible person, but like somebody who deeply cares about you. That vulnerability is always a window into deeper and deeper and deeper connection. Yeah.
Oh, that's
I also
lovely.
feel like you learn so much about if you're more open to having these harder conversations up front. I'm not saying less of them happen over time per se, because I feel like, yes, there's always
But
things
I
to discuss.
I think
Better
yes.
at it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Or yes, it is less.
Maybe it's less because you just like break that habit of needing to have your defense up and like be in that mask energy. Cause like now it's so funny because my relationship has like allowed me to unmask and be more of my authentic self, which allows me to be more of my authentic self in all other spaces. So I'm noticing that shift now where I'm like, I'm not even going to bother with the mask anymore because it used to keep me safe. But now it's just stopping me from connecting authentically and finding the people that are for me and letting go of whoever isn't for me, you know? And like it just like cuts through that time, Brooke, that you were
Choice.
saying. Yeah.
How would you say you got there? Like, is there something that you can think of in your story that was the moment of enough with this? Like, I'm dropping it. I love me enough to be me and feel confident in that. Period.
I don't know how much this is going to resonate with your listeners, but for me, it was like my spiritual side. Like, I am intuitive as fuck and I have gifts that not everybody does. And for a long time, I thought that it was all in my head or, my husband's not going to get it. Like, he's going to think I'm like being so LA. Oh, I moved to LA and now I'm being so LA.
He's drinking smoothies and talking spiritual stuff all the time.
Yeah, and like I really thought that he would think that I'm just trying to fit in to the scene. Instead, I was like emerging as more and more of like who I authentically am. And I remember the first time I started to really just like have more of my phone calls in front of him and like show him who I am instead of like trying to tell him, babe, like I'm like spiritual as fuck. Like I'm really, really good at what I do. Like instead of telling him, I started to create these environments where I'm showing up more as myself. I invited him to my dinner party so that he could see me in my element and see me in my magic. And then instead of trying and worrying and being scared of like, oh, what is he going to think? He just got to see me in it and feel it for himself. So I think that was really, really powerful for me. And it was scary because I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm merging my two worlds of like my safe little inner child cocoon with like this like high priestess that I am out in the world. And it was really scary.
It's vulnerable, but it's also beautiful, and I feel like there really is so much power to showing over telling. Yes, you can talk all you want and say you are a certain way or show up in a certain way, but there is nothing more powerful than letting people witness you in that, and I feel like it resonates with people out more, and that's something that you can take with you into every facet of your life, even business, love, friendship, everything. Like, instead of asking or telling, just show up and be, and your people will find you.
Mm,
I do think,
mic
yeah,
drop.
right? Brooke and I talk a lot about how your environment shapes who you are, whether that's good or bad. And so even you bringing that up of, I was worried he would think I was just becoming like too LA. But the fact that LA was bringing you out, like of who you are authentically, like I have goosebumps thinking about that because I've been through that and Brooke's been through that. And we talk about this all the time. It's probably one of our favorite things to talk about. It's putting yourself in that place or space that makes you come alive, able to witness what just the environment does to you.
Thank you for that, Kelly, because I literally have just been feeling like interesting relationship with LA. So I'm going to tap into that and thank her, thank the land, thank the space.
Yeah, go like touch some sand for a little bit and
Yeah, I'm just going to jump in the ocean today.
what a blessing. I'm just, hold on, I'm gonna go just jump in the ocean. Amazing.
Truly, we're so lucky. We're so blessed.
That's so amazing. I love that. Okay. So, yeah, moving into kind of a little bit different of a pivot. I know you talked about this a little bit with your own personal story earlier, but do you have any advice that you would tell people on continuing to grow individually,
Hmm.
still continuing to stay deeply connected?
You guys ask the best questions. Oh my gosh.
Thank
So good. You're not going to go and grow at the same pace. Let go of the fear that you may outgrow each other.
Mhm.
The whole point of authentic love is to honor the pace of each other's individual journeys. And I think that is the greatest expression of love.
Is there a practice that you and your husband have of like checking in on each other and your own goals and growth and things like that individually?
Well, every year we do like a little getaway and we do a silent retreat where we're just like experiencing each other's energy and bodies. So usually we go to Joshua Tree in January
I have
and it's really special because we're like cooking together. We're trying to tap into our senses as much as we can in each other's presence without we only talk like it's only if it's like an emergency you can say something, but it's my favorite thing because it allows me to remember why we fell in love in the first place, where it's just like he's just so delicious and just so amazing.
I'm
So
practicing that. I
sexual.
have so many questions, and I'm
Will
obsessed.
be doing this with my future partner.
Legitimately. So is it you just go
We
and
get a
it's your
house, there's a
man, and
pool, there's a hot tub, and yeah, we just enjoy the nature and
how do
clothes
you
optional.
I love all of the above. Literally incredible. Thank you for sharing that with us. That's so
yeah.
special.
I think it's fun to be able to tap into the different senses in that way. I'm a big, like,
Mhm.
NLP fan, or the brain's just fascinating to me, and I do believe that we all have, like, love languages. I know we talk about love languages, like the ones you hear, acts of service, affirmations, all of those things, but I
Also,
believe our
you're allowed to have all
yes. Oh,
if you want.
100%. I think it's a scale. Mine also changes depending on my, like, season.
I was in the shower the other day, not to interrupt you, but I was in the shower and literally thinking about my love language. And I was like, well, it could be this, but I actually think it's this. But wait a sec, what are the chances I could have all of them? Is that a weird thing to think? Literally.
You
So
literally
it's
had that
not
thought
weird.
process. Wow. I love that so much. And like I think it's settling. Like
Well,
if you only choose one or two. Like I mean, I think the most beautiful magnetic relationships pour into all parts of you.
Completely agree.
So like yeah, I mean, sometimes it's acts of service, sometimes it's words of affirmation, sometimes it's quality time, sometimes it's what are the other ones? Gifts.
yeah.
Gifts
Gifts.
are see, gifts I'm not a big one on. I don't really care for gifts much.
See, but I do think that's why I was thinking I have friends that have birthdays coming up, all these things.
Mhm,
And so
mhm.
I was like, I love to give gifts. Okay. Like that is a huge part of my love
That
language
is
to the
so
world.
beautiful.
But like I don't really love like I don't need gifts. Like I don't need that. And so I was like, it has to be different then of like the love languages that you love to show someone else compared to how you perceive
And
them.
that's a very real thing
Yeah.
because, like, for so long, I'm loving him the way I want to be loved, but then he's not feeling loved because it's not how he wants to be loved. So I'm just wasting all this,
My
like,
husband and I did a date night for that, actually, because
cute.
what we did, because it was the exact thing, it's so much easier to show love in the way you wanna be loved versus the way you'd wanna receive it. So we literally did a date night where we talked about it. And we made these, like, little jars for each other, or, like, we each made our own jar, and it was and, like, arranged, like, not everything was, like, a trip to Mexico because, like, duh, I would love that every week, but it was a range of, like, different ways that would make me feel really loved, and, like, if you ever wanted to show up for that other person, like, and needed an idea, needed a nudge, like, we have these little things to be able to go back to so that it can still be a surprise and not always me having to ask or him always
Mm,
having to ask, but
so
being
good.
seen in that way, and it was incredible, like, the conversations it sparked was incredible, and even being able to talk about, like so I love gifts, but I don't need things. For me, like, will I be happy that you brought me home a bottle of wine? Of course, but for me, it's more like I love, like, the gift of an experience because I love quality time. So, like, if you put a
Mm.
lot of thought my 30th birthday, if I turned you around right now, you would see balloons and photos hanging from the living room ceiling because when I came home, Alec had balloons everywhere, like the 30 balloons, and he chose 30 photos from our time together and wrote affirmations on the bottom of all of them. And so that's definitely a gift, but for me, it was
You're
less about the
all 3, so it's like words of affirmation, acts of service, gifts,
yes. And
quality
quality
time.
time was the rest of
Yeah,
the evening. Like, he
yeah.
made it an experience of the night. So I always say I do love gifts, but it's not I don't need you to gift me jewelry. I want memories. I want moments. I want
Also,
feeling.
that exercise is really good, and I'm totally gonna take that into my
Feel
work
it.
because that's so good.
It was incredible.
Wow.
Incredible. Life-changing.
And it's so helpful, especially in those moments where you're feeling disconnected and such an easy thing to tap into to reconnect and be intentional. And like also like your band sounds intentional as heck. Like that's
Amazing.
so
He's amazing.
amazing.
They're the cutest. Like literally, we'll probably like I have Alec on my pedestal of man. And
Aw,
like he's not my type of man, but like the man that he
I
is.
get it. Like the standard of love that he gives to Brooke is like your new normal now because of how
Yes.
you have experienced their relationship.
Yeah.
This is
And
what I
also
mean by good, healthy Relationships heal the world. They show the world that you don't need to settle and you don't need to compromise who you are in order for a relationship to work. Like you both get to amplify more and more and more of who you are. And that energy gets shared with the world.
Thank you. What I wanna say to anyone listening too, though, is we worked for this. Like, this wasn't a we just it clicked, didn't happen overnight. We're high school sweethearts, which is, like, so cute and lovey and cheesy, and I love this for us. I love our story,
I
but,
need you
like,
on my podcast.
we were I'm
Please.
down, and Alec I'm volunteering him too, he'll join. But we got together when I was 16 and he was 17. We didn't know what love
Wow.
was, not like, not in the way you grow and nurture it. So we worked for it. We always One of my favorite things we do is we put ourselves in situations that spark conversation. And we don't have limits on what it is. So, like, for example, I'm gonna out us for a second. There was a show on Netflix. I don't even know if it's there still. If it is, you should watch it. And it was called How to Build a Sex Room. Did you watch this?
No.
Such a
Okay.
good show.
So good. We watched it together and it sparked so many conversations of things like or that are like that we might be into or like that's a hard no for me or I didn't know that existed. And it wasn't like the show makes it sound like it's this like super inappropriate. Like, it's not like this woman is an interior designer and she basically started the show because she's like, I have designed celebrity kitchens and living rooms and bathrooms and yada yada. She's like, I've designed it all. And she was like, this couple came to me and wanted a luxury sex room. And she's like, I have never had that challenge before. And she was like, I'm intrigued. And then she did it that one time and it became her new obsession because you get to learn couples in new ways and vulnerable ways.
Yes.
And it's a conversation that a lot of people don't have super openly, even with their partners. It took years for my husband and I to talk about sex
Same,
super
same.
openly. Both of us went to Catholic school growing up, very religious family. So, like, there was a lot of unpacking to do there. Our relationship flourished once we started to welcome those conversations. And it was so awkward at first, which is so funny because you're like, this is your person that, like, I've been naked. Like, you've been inside of me, for lack of a better way to put it. Yet I'm still embarrassed to have this conversation with you. But it was something we worked on and we grew, and all of it's connected. It made our romance better, like with this sweet gesture. And I don't know, we worked for it. And I thank you. I love our relationship.
Oh my god, thank you so much for that epic journey and story, and knowing that, like, you can start somewhere and and think you know everything about somebody and be like, "Okay, this is, like, as good as it gets." And I think a lot of people are really scared to go into that growth portal together where it's like, "You know what? There's more here. Let's unpack and find and unravel that together." And look at this incredible more that you get to experience with each other even though you've been together for so long. It doesn't the the love isn't at its peak on the wedding day. It
No.
gets to continue to deepen and grow and flourish throughout the life you build together.
And ideally, it gets better.
I
Honestly,
agree. I
everyone
agree. I
always says
agree.
their wedding day was their best day ever, and I'm like, I actually don't agree with that at all. I mean, it was fun and beautiful and a memory, but I wanna move up from here, not down. Yeah.
Mm.
Good. You should be a marriage coach.
Oh, goodness.
He is my personal relationship coach with myself and with anyone else.
But my husband and I always joke that, we haven't dated since high school, so our advice might be a little dated, so,
Yeah. Yeah, I'll
I
be
know.
like, "Okay, give me your best advice." And she's like, "Well, go meet them in high school." "Not today, though. I need you to go back in time. Like, please
correct.
don't."
That's all I got.
Need to be married and then they come to you.
Yes, I could do that.
No, really, though. It's so cool.
Thank you.
So, what I wanna get into just for a second is the virality piece of your story. And how you just opened up online about, you know what? I'm 32. My husband and I have a very happy, loving, wonderful marriage, and now we're in a live, not even sleep apart. We are living apart. Is there anything that really surprised you throughout that? Like one where you surprised that it went that viral, and looking back, like what else was really
I
surprising?
think the most surprising thing was how many people resonated with, like, feeling like roommates in their marriages where, when you are so in this problem, you think you're the only one going through that problem. And I love the power of social media. Like, I think before that moment, I always used to see social media how everybody else sees it, like, just post my best moments. I go travel, I share the content, and then I, like, ghost it for until my next trip. But when I share that moment, which, like, I'm telling you guys, I probably had, like, 10 followers on TikTok. I didn't use TikTok often. It was this deep, intuitive, like, pull to just do it. I was like I think I wasn't even, like, conscious of it. I just
Hit post.
did it. Yep. Like, we went for bagels that morning, and I recorded. I was like, "Oh my god, it's so beautiful out. It was snowing." And then I came back to his place and just, like, started writing, and I hit post. Like, didn't think anything of it, put my phone away, got back into, being present with him. When it went viral, I think it was really scary at first because of all the hate comments, but when you filter through that, because I think all the inner work that I was doing allowed me to not take that personally, because if, like, my own parents telling me I'm making the worst decision of my life doesn't phase me anymore, like, strangers on the internet can't
Literally.
get to me.
Yep.
So, luckily, I was able to look beyond that and find the glimmers of the little whispers of the women and the men that were like, "Wow, that would be amazing," or like, "Wow, like, I really want that," or I can only imagine how romantic that is, you know? Um, it was like I found my community, like I found my people. Like I was finally showing this side of me that is this rebel who won't say yes to the status quo and is going to be unapologetic about it. And yes, it's scary to do that and put yourself out there and face being exiled from society, which, like, on the surface, I was from my parents and a lot of strangers in the world. But when you go beyond that, you see how every single thing that you're thinking and feeling, there are millions of people also thinking and feeling the same thing. And it made me feel so connected. So connected.
Just joke that none of us really have an original experience.
Nope.
And I don't mean that negatively. I just think it's funny to me because, like, you'll have this, like, super weird, odd, fun, whatever niche thing that you're like, "This has to just be me," and then you're like, "Just kidding. We all have experienced that."
Something is I literally saw a video today where it was like a guy who was like, "Oh, I'm not watching K-pop Demon Hunters, like, what the heck?" And then, like, 2 hours later, he's, like, dancing to the music and, like, completely in love. And I was like, "Let's watch this." And I was like, "No, I'm not into K-pop." And he's like, "No, watch it." And I'm now the biggest fan.
Oh my gosh, that's so fun
Amazing.
though. Like, what a different part of your soul gets fed. Even if you didn't like, again, it's probably even more surprising because you're like, no. And then you're like, all right, fine, 5 minutes. And now you're like, oh my God.
So isolated in that experience, and then I see this TikTok going viral with this white dude who's, like, having
Mhm.
the same experience.
And it's the best because I feel like so much in life, so many of us can feel alone and isolate and just feel like, no one understands us. Like, I think that's the things that our brains say all the time when it's not true. Like, and I do love social media for that purpose, the power, the moment of being able to feel connected with other people and go, what? I don't know this person. I'm never going to meet this person, but our souls are connected in that way, in a way, like there's a tie there and you're not alone.
Well, I believe that emotions, like every single human being, regardless of gender, race, ethnicity, feels the same exact emotions.
Yeah. Emotions are just probably the rawest form of life itself, right?
And the great unifier, I think, like heartbreak, especially, and grief and things like that. Like they're so painful when you're isolated, but as soon as you get into community with that emotion, you're like, wow, me too, me too, me too, me too, the Me Too movement, which like was like, wow, like it literally opened up the world of like how many women thought that they're alone and realized, wow, it's sad how common of a problem it is, but how big of a unifier is that pain?
Yep. And the more
It
you
is.
speak about something, the more you let it remove its power over you.
Yeah, as soon as you let the light onto something dark and ugly,
Hmm?
it can't stay dark and ugly anymore.
No,
No, no.
no, no. I love that. I think that's One of the things when I was going through my divorce and a personal pattern of mine in relationship is um narcissist after narcissist after narcissist. And there's a lot of things that I've worked through because of that. And my therapist had suggested a book from one of her other clients called Psychopath Free, and it literally changed my life. But the fact is, I read the book and every line on every page, I literally was like, "Oh my god. Oh my god, I thought that was in my head. Oh my god, I thought that was me." So then on TikTok, I would go and I would search the book. And then you could see other humans like talking about their experience with the book and really being in that whole moment. And I'm like, "What?" Like, I thought all this stuff made me crazy because like no way it was like that. So for
Oh
better
my
or for worse, I
gosh.
think social media really is like finding that human connection, like keeping social media social in that aspect to be like, how can we love on other people? Like, again, I'm not alone. And so if you're listening and you think you're going through something, no matter how hard it is, try and see if you can find just one other human on social media that's going through it that can give you any sort of love, light, or the next right step for you. Because that was huge in my healing journey.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for sharing that. That is so true. Like it's you probably felt so alone that like I can't believe I let this monster into my life and this is the experience that I've had. And you're like, wow. Like I also think sisterhood is so important and so massive for our evolution. And I'm a big advocate for all married friends need to still have single women as deep friendships because it reminds us of the feminine magic that like the empowerment, like the badassery of like just don't give up on that part of you that is here to shine, right? Like I think we get comfortable in on the couch, again, like I was saying, and my single friends are the ones that are like, "You know you're a sexy ass bitch, right?" And I'm like
There you are. I needed that today.
I get in my comfy PJs, you know? It's so powerful to have powerful single women in our lives.
Hey,
Well,
thank you.
yes, you are
But
one.
again, I wouldn't be like, even just without Brooke, like there are so many times where she's like, Kelly, that's not right. And I was like, what? No,
Oh,
it's fine. And, like the justification that people go through that are in this type of season that I was in, where I talk myself into all of these really shitty things being okay. Brooke's like, no, that Alec would never, like literally would never even dream of thinking about that. And so it's having other just powerful, really amazing humans. Like for me as a single woman, people that have good relationships is so powerful on the flip side because I'm able to now see like that is a healthy dynamic. That is a healthy relationship. Like Brooke and Alec rarely even fight because they just are open and talk about everything. Like there's no like nothing is festering. There's nothing going on. And like I'm not used to that. And so
yeah.
to me, it's such a beautiful example. Now I'm gonna have FaceTimes with you and like meet your husband.
Oh my gosh, can we all just, like, go on a group trip? We're all gonna go to Phuket.
Yes. Phuket. This keeps
What
coming back and I'm getting more excited, so please don't get my hopes up. We gotta do this.
I was like, but even like your posture for travel with your husband, where he like saw you and was like, nope, this is a season. We're going. Grab your suitcase. We're moving to different countries for a little bit and we're going to see the world together. Like, that is a huge dream of mine. And I think that is so cool. And you guys are like experiencing life together.
He
Love it.
does not he's in Aquarius, so he won't let me get too comfortable. He's like, "No, there's too much of the world to see. We're not gonna stay in one spot for too long."
I love it.
Sometimes I just wanna plant a garden that I can keep for 10 years.
And he's like, garden
Yep.
schmarden. No.
He got me a portable garden, the raised beds that we can
Oh,
take wherever we go.
That's so
see?
sweet.
Love. Like that love
What?
language there.
To be
That's
seen is to be
incredible.
loved.
Totally.
I only have a few questions left, and I'm sure Brooke does too. But what would you say is a good, like, healthy masculine feminine energy in relationships, like today in 2025? I think with the strong ass independent women that we're all like living in, you can be happily both of those players in relationships. So how would you say is like in modern relationships, how does that?
I think before, I wanna say COVID or, like, in the right? Women weren't able to work as much. Now that we are able to work and have our own businesses and legacy, it's not that we are too much in our masculine, it's that we don't have enough space to be in our feminine. So it's the relationships where you get to, I have a ritual after work, even though I work from home, where I physically will shake off the day. It's my shift from my masculine into my feminine so that when I'm going into my husband's coming home and we're spending our time together, I'm not in this work mode, masculine energy, full on um just reactive of all the things I have to do and stressed out and blah blah blah. Will I'll drop into my body. I'll change my clothes in a very ritualistic way. I'll wear something silky or a loungewear that feels really good on my skin. And I'll wash my face and I'll do my skincare. And then I go spend the rest of my evening with him. That for me is that shift, right? Modern day women and men must both be very empowered in their masculine and feminine energy. So with a man, for him, when he's in his work mode and this and that, and being his masculine powerhouse out in the world, when I'm in my feminine, he gets to drop into his, this may sound so weird that I'm saying it this way, but when we're together, we're in our inner child joy, right? We're both just not the people we are out in the world. We are playing, we are joyful, we are cuddling, we are picking each other's nose. We're
Yeah. I
you know what
love
I
this.
mean?
Yeah, being goofy and just letting that
Yeah,
flag fly.
exactly. And being so weird. The part of us that literally nobody gets to see that side of me. Only he gets to see that. And it's important for I think when we say that the marriage brings out all of our inner child wounds, it also is the place where your inner child gets to be the most safe and expressed. So creating that safety in that container where you're not judging each other for anything and you're allowing each other to be weird and freaky and whatever, I think is really, really, really important. So understanding that if the men these days are oh, I want a woman in her feminine and her softness and this and that. So they're turned off by powerful women when they don't realize that all of us have that side of us that is craving to come out. So you denying her for the surface of what she represents and projects out into the world is such a missed opportunity to really get to know that part of her because you don't want to be responsible for creating that container for her to be expressed in her femininity, and vice versa, where women want a man who is just really powerful in the workplace and this and that. But I'm telling you, me allowing that man to be fully expressed in his inner child joy allows him to be more confident at work and more empowered to step into his leadership because he doesn't feel burdened and exhausted and he feels light and free and just if I fully accept all parts of him, he just gets to feel more and more confident at work to be more of himself too. So
I
That's
adore this.
beautiful.
I feel like so much in day-to-day life and society, you were talking about masks earlier, and no matter how much we unmask, there
Yeah.
is still a level of what you allow people to have access to or how much of you they get access to, and there really is nothing like the access that you and your partner have together because it is this whole new level of being weird and being giggly. Alec and I always joke that it kind of when you're in a healthy marriage, it can kind of feel like you're at a sleepover with your best friend when you're little. You're just giggling all night, every night.
yes.
And,
Yes.
are there hard times or hard conversations and all too? Sure. But the amount of just stupid giggles, and I'm a prankster, I'm a huge prankster. I love to prank my husband. It's my favorite hobby. And he does not want to engage in a prank war back because he thinks it's going to encourage me more and babe, it's going to happen anyway. But the
I love
fact that
that.
he even allows me to do that and he just, we have so much fun with one another. And I do think that really is in so many ways the key. It's just being goofy and having fun and everything doesn't have to be so serious. The bills will be there for you to talk about the decisions will be there, but like, go laugh, go cover a Brussels sprout in chocolate and give it to your husband and let him think it's candy. Like, just be silly, be fun.
So much. That is such a horrible, horrible.
I've gotten him twice with that. Twice. I'm like, babe, you'd think you'd know. He
And
now
he's
does
like, I
not
love big
trust.
pops. What do you mean?
He now
Me that he trusts you.
he does. I will say now, if I try to give him one of those Ferrero Rocher chocolates, you know what I'm talking about? They're in like the gold wrapper, so they can be
Yes.
kind of funny and it's not perfect. So I can now he does look at me with like a brow raised. He's like, because I
The
have given
trust
him
has been broken.
the trust has been broken, but only for silly things.
Oh my God, that's so epic. I love that so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's fun.
Yeah.
But thank you for your time with us today. We have a question. This episode has been incredible, and I know
I feel like I could spend 3 more hours talking to you. So
legitimately.
Hang out. Can we hang out? Come to LA.
Please, I don't know when our next trip to LA is, but we can make one happen.
we'll make one. Yeah.
If not,
Okay.
if you're ever back in New York as well, or Kel's in Seattle,
Okay.
any of the
Perfect.
places.
I actually have a property in Seattle, so that could actually happen.
Wait, yes, please.
In Ballard, we have a little townhouse there.
Beautiful.
Hey, we will talk more about that. That's so
Yes.
freaking cute. I love it.
We will get something on the books. I tend to
And
go
we're
to
moving
Seattle.
back to New York definitely one day soon. So yeah, we'll be in New York.
Here. This is my happy place, so I will be here.
Love it.
We have a question that we like to ask everyone as we wrap our episodes. And it is, if you could go back and sit across from yourself at the start of your journey, so before the business, before the viral TikTok, before any of it, what would you tell her?
I'm so proud of her. The way I think she was more courageous than I am now. And I tap into her energy anytime I need to make another big decision or a big leap or, move in my conversations or in my business. She was just so badass. And like, she wasn't hardened by all the emotional inner child healing work and this and that.
Huh?
She was wild, she was free, and she was relentless about only living life on her own terms and nobody else's. So I would thank her from the bottom of my fucking heart and soul for being who she is.
That's beautiful. I love that. I feel like so many people speak to their past selves with more of a, it will be okay, stop like that. I love that you look back at her and go, you were fucking amazing and I'm proud of you. And I channel you still to this day. Like, that's such a different answer.
Yeah, we
And
haven't had that yet. And I'm literally
Aw.
going to think about that. That's beautiful.
yeah,
Thank
Yeah, I think your 20s, you are just like wild, crazy, free. And like you grow up and you're like, oh, oopsies, life isn't that easy
mm-hmm.
and that simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep a photo of baby Kelly on my desk every day because if I'm going through a bad day, I'll literally look at her and be like, "We can do this. I got this for you. Like, don't worry about it."
Oh my God, talk about self-parenting to the next level. Wow. Love.
Yeah, she's
She is such a cute.
She's so cute.
yeah. So I literally like if I'm having a bad day or I get off a call or something is going on personally, I'm like, "All right, baby, we can do this today." Wowzer. I'm gonna get another cup of coffee though and take 5 minutes, and then we're coming
Yeah.
back. But I love that. Thank you so much for saying that. Really, that just kind of rocked me a little bit to thank her. Thank you.
And those versions of us are like pretty badass. I mean, look at her. Just look at
thank you.
her. She's
Hell yeah.
amazing.
She is.
She's perfect.
Hell yeah. So as we close out, I know you wanted to chit chat a little bit about things you have going on. You tell our fusers really like what's happening and what you're excited about, what's lighting up, and then how they can find you.
Thank you for the opportunity. If you guys are single and you are ready to date differently and really align with your self-love and then have a partner that complements that version of you, I'm actually in the process this entire month of building out my database. So it's going to be a database of conscious humans. And if we have a match for you, then you come to one of our dinner parties where you don't get to know who the match is at the dinner. And we can seat you in little groups and give you conversation prompts so that you can dive deeper than just surface level conversation. So we help you learn how to ask better questions. And then afterwards, you get a little survey, let us know who you connected with. If there's a mutual match, then we set you up on your date. But then after the date, we do a whole analysis and all of that to get you more and more into alignment with your truth so that you can continue to date with intention. So I'm in the process of the database. So if you're interested, you want to join the database, you want to meet your potential match, then fill that out. I will give you guys the link for that. And also, if you are in LA and you like to meet new people and have dinners, I love hosting dinner parties. So just get on my email list, and I'm always hosting random events all the time.
So fun. I wish I lived in LA. Like,
I
what a
know.
In-person gatherings are my jam. Like, I love it. Like, I just can't not. I can't do the whole virtual only stuff. It's I'm an in-person person.
We are too.
I
Kelly and
love
I are
you.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There's just something. So I want to be able to hug you. I want to be able to give you a
I
hug
know.
and ask you how you are and cheers my drink with you and like just have a night. And the screen is lovely for moments like this where like we're all in 3 different parts of the country and still getting to speak to each other. But nothing replaces an in-person connection,
Yeah,
which is actually where this started for all of us. We met in person first. So
exactly.
It
And
is special.
I just started saying hi. You guys were in front of me, and I loved your energy. I was like, I need to talk to those ladies. They are amazing.
first thing I
Oh, like, oh, that you
noticed
did.
with you was your outfit. I was like, this girl is stunning. I love her outfit. And that's kind of where, and then we're all there for Sophia Bush, right? Like,
Yes.
Mhm.
entrance.
That conversation was so good.
So good.
Bless her. Bless her.
Yes.
Amazing. Also, you guys are so
Fun.
good. This was such an honor. Like, your questions were so good. I'm excited to re-listen and like be like, did I say the right thing? Like, receive messages from my own self, you know?
Well,
You're
yes.
great. Yeah, what are you trying to tell future you? For sure.
Yeah. It happens to me in podcasts all the time. I love podcasts.
I'm a daily listener for sure of podcasts. I feel like there's just so much to consume out there that can help you feel less alone, help you get where you want to go. There's just so much out there and
Mhm.
it's fun. So thank you for your conversation and your time today. It was incredible. And we will have to do this again because I agree. I could have talked for another 3 hours easily.
Maybe we'll do it in person one day.
Yes.
I love it. I love it.
Before
Thank
we go, can you tell people where they can find you on the socials, on the web, and all of those
Yes.
tech things? And we'll put it in the show notes too. But
Cool. Yeah. So my full name, Sana Akhand. So my website is www.sanaakhand.com. My Instagram is Sana Akhand. Or if you are into the conscious matchmaking stuff, then Conscious Matchmaker is another handle on Instagram. And TikTok is the same thing, Sana Akhand and Conscious Match. And my podcast, Thriving in Love, if you are into spiritual growth, personal development in the container of relationships, that's where I dive deep, deep, deep. So that's where you could listen to all my musings.
amazing.
Amazing. Thank you again. Thank you for your vulnerability and your kindness and just your amazing advice. I know this episode's really going to serve a lot of people. So thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. We have new episodes coming out every Thursday, so we will catch you in one of the next ones.
And please take some time, follow us on @FindYourFuse or email us at info@findyourfuse.com for all inquiries and all exciting things that you want to chat with us about. We love building this community and we love you. Take some time and leave a review. Anything above 5 stars, we'd love it. But really, we appreciate you and we appreciate your feedback in any form because the more feedback we can get, the better we'll get. Okay, love you. Bye.